after weeks of speculation and very little action. We have movement. Woo! Yeah, coaching carousel. Round and round and round and round. And when it stops, go! Well, it has stopped for multiple teams. If you have not heard yet, maybe not, the Houston Texans and the Denver Broncos have made their move. And the way this works, you go with the bigger name. And so we're going to start in the Mile High City, where we have learned, and it has been confirmed, that Sean Payton has agreed to a deal as he is going to coach the Denver Broncos. But it's how the Broncos got to Sean Payton, which is as much a part of the story as anything else, that Denver, depending on who you believe, they're the winner. They won the raffle. They won the raffle to get Sean Payton, if you want to look at it that way. The Broncos will be sending a 2023 first-round pick, a second-round pick next year, 2024, to the Saints for the privilege of paying Sean Payton a gazillion dollars, and they'll also get back a third-round pick from New Orleans next year, 2024. So there's a lot of moving parts. The hire without controversy, unless it is with controversy, there are conflicting reports on just how Denver decided to hire this coach. Adam Schefter, carrying the water for the Broncos, made it seem like Sean Payton was the choice all along, and there was little drama. Now, Ian Rappaport, who works for the Pravda News Service for the NFL, he went the other way.
Who?
He indicated that the Broncos made a desperate attempt to hire away 49ers defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans to be their head coach, but he rejected them to coach the Texans. More on that in a minute. That's embarrassing. All right, so let us discuss the question: what letter grade do you give Sean Payton and the Broncos for this agreement? So I go to the Maller report card and my grading book. I have Sean Payton getting a C, and the Broncos get the D. Broncos get the D, like the logo there on their old helmets. So I've got convenience, headless chicken, and Navy. And we will tie all of these things together, and we are going to make Rocky Mountain oysters, which is what the Broncos front office is eating right now. So, listen, Sean Payton, I'm worried the man's going to pull a muscle here. Somebody make sure there's a trainer around Sean Payton, because this feels like a reach. It feels like a reach. There was a scarcity of good jobs, as in famine. Now, to the untrained eye, the Denver football team seemed like the cream of the crop, but upon further review, if you take out your microscope, not good. Not good. The Bronco roster, you smell that? It's rotting cottage cheese. That's the Bronco roster. And Sean Payton was the hot name on the coaching circuit. He was the popular pick by popular people as the Super Bowl champion coach who was available after a year hiatus on television. But this was definitely not love at first sight, even if you believe this will work out. And I don't. But if you believe this is going to work out, you're delusional to think that it was right away, this is the deal we wanted. You got to file this one as a marriage of convenience. Personal gain, financial gain, strategic, hastily arranged. Those are terms I would use to describe Sean Payton coaching the Broncos. And it turns out we advised him. He didn't listen to us. Bad job by him. We advised Payton to go back and do TV again. It appears based on these actions, that Sean Payton did not really want to do TV. So the Broncos also were in a state of flux. They were hornswoggled on the coaching circuit, so they panicked. They got desperate. I do give Sean Payton a C. I can't go lower than that because he's going to make a ton of money here. He could have waited another year, and every year there's 5 to 10 jobs that open up in the NFL. He's making a ton of money. He already had a ton of money, so from a financial standpoint, it's a nice deal. It's the rich getting richer. But he was not wasting away at the breadline, right? I don't think Sean Payton had to go cash food ration coupons. It was okay, right? And you got to judge it from a standpoint from football. It's not only the Rocky Mountains, it's a rocky road. The moment Russell Wilson reached out and publicly campaigned for Sean Payton was the moment that Sean Payton should have closed the door and made sure the door was deadbolted, but he didn't do that. So now you're in the AFC West. Welcome. You're in the same division with Patrick Mahomes, who has a chokehold on the division. It's his birthright now to win the division every year. The Chargers, who could go either way, but Justin Herbert better than your guy at quarterback. And so Denver, and who knows what the Raiders are going to do. Right now, the Raiders are the worst team, but Denver is running third in the AFC West horse race at the quarterback position. Now, page 2. How did the Broncos and Sean Payton actually end up consummating this relationship? So you've got Adam Schefter over here, as we said, implying that Sean Payton was the choice and there was no confusion, everything under control, nothing to see here. And then on the other side over here, you've got Ian Rappaport going with a cluster hockey puck, if you will. So who is more believable? Toss-up question. Who do you believe on this one? Do you believe the Schefter report or the Rappaport report or none of the above? So on this one, I believe Ian Rappaport. The Schefter report, and Schefter's very good at what he does, but this was a sanitized report. It's like it came from the Broncos and Sean Payton's PR people. We buy the crude, unprocessed, very dramatic version from the rap sheet. It's much more believable, and I'll tell you why. All right, the Broncos ownership was running around like Mike the Headless Chicken here, all over the map. My evidence, you don't need my evidence, it was on the public record. If Sean Payton wanted to coach in Denver, and that was the job that he wanted, and Denver wanted Sean Payton, then riddle me this, Batman. Why did it take this long? Right? If it was love at first sight, it would have been bada bing, bada boom. Easy peasy. Instead, it wasn't like that. It was a long, winding country road. Again, I go back to a marriage of convenience, as we highlighted earlier. The Broncos, I'm not sure they wanted DeMeco Ryans, but I know they didn't want, at first, Sean Payton. They certainly believable. They talked to DeMeco Ryans. They whiffed on that. They dabbled with Jim Harbaugh. Those reports came out over the weekend. Hello? Harbaugh said no bueno and stayed in Ann Arbor. So that was a dead end situation. So it's getting late, clock running down, fourth quarter. You're running the 2-minute offense. The walls are starting to cave in. You're running around like Mike the Headless Chicken. You're the new owner. You're the Walmart owner of the Broncos and all that. Woo! Got that Walmart money. You're running around. The tick, 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 tick. Yeah, and so you decide, you know what you decide? You say, you know what we're going to do here? We're going to be just like that popular GIF from Nickelodeon, that cartoon, The Fairly Odd Parents. You know the one with the two deckhands, the sailors who are shoveling money into the incinerator on the ship? You've seen that one, right? Yeah. That's what the Broncos have decided to do. The Walmart ownership, not following the great value branding that you get at Walmart there, because this is some expensive frozen vegetables. Now, it's not my money. It's their money, and they have the right to burn it all they want, but it does get the vibe. You get the vibe out of Denver that the Broncos are throwing good money after bad, and that they're settling. There's a lot of settling going on with the Broncos. It's a yearly tradition. They get the consolation prize. Last year, Denver, you know who they wanted a quarterback? Aaron Rodgers. That's who they wanted. How do we know they wanted Aaron Rodgers? They hired Aaron Rodgers, Cabana Boy, as the coach. The guy had no business being a coach. He proved it by sucking at the job. And Aaron Rodgers didn't end up going to Colorado. So they had to settle for the broken down Russell Wilson. And they were so giddy, they signed him to a massive contract, sight unseen. And now this year, whether it was Jim Harbaugh or DeMeco Ryans, whoever it was, they wanted somebody else. They had to settle for Sean Payton. Now, as far as the draft picks, people are making a big deal. They're all in a tizzy because of the draft picks. I'm F them picks guy. I don't care about the picks. I don't think it's a good fit. You know, draft picks, you get a new crop every year. You can replace them. It is a renewable asset. It's no big deal, right? But it is an odd juxtaposition that 2 years in a row, they don't get the quarterback they want. Now they don't get the coach they want. It's wild. All right, now last word here. Will Sean Payton end up winning a Super Bowl in Denver? See, the only way this works is for Sean Payton to win a Super Bowl. Those are the stakes. I didn't make the rules. Those are the rules. The Rams gambled. They went all in. I traded a bunch of draft picks to get Matthew Stafford, the Super Bowl winning quarterback now, and they spent all this money and resources to bring in Von Miller and all these other players, but they won. So it worked. And they'll suck for a couple years, but they'll be good eventually down the line. And the Broncos, if I'm wrong and they win, fine. But they got to win. They got to win one Super Bowl for this to work out, right? With Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. Looking into my crystal ball, I'm shaking my head no. The crystal ball says no, and I'm never wrong about these things. I'm a friend of Nostradamus and a distant relative of Nostradamus. Now, the Broncos, should they be a playoff team? Sure. They should have been a playoff team last year, right? And even the playoffs is not a guarantee, as we saw this past year. So Sean Payton is like a Navy salvage operation division project here, that he should hire somebody from the Navy because his quarterback is lost in a sea of mistakes. And you turn to that deep ocean search and recovery, and there's some like an oil spill out there. You got to abate the oil spill. So salvage and recovery for Russell Wilson. And everyone's just saying, oh, it's going to be a great reawakening. Hearing a lot of that, career renaissance. I'll believe it when it happens. And not just one game or a couple of good games. It's going to be a couple of months of good football. Not a good game here or a good game there. I'm not holding my breath. The ceiling, if you will, for Russell Wilson, big ticket, big contract, average results. The big money, broken down quarterback, getting long in the tooth, who's got delusions of grandeur, right? Mr. Unlimited, very limited. And is Sean Payton going to mess around? Sure. There's only so much meddling and tweaking and twisting and turning that one can do.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Yeah. Now, Payton is a better coach than Nathaniel Hackett. I believe that a dog trainer is a better coach than Nathaniel Hackett. Regardless of that, it's not saying much, but Sean Payton, divine intervention, whatever it is, maybe he can channel Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and solve Russell Wilson, but good luck. Yeah, making the cash holder there, good for him.
Mr. Unlimited. You got to be unlimited.
The only people I know that get raises are in sports and Wall Street and politics. That's it. Did anyone else get raises? I don't know. All right.